Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of today's football show. And today we're going to talk about yesterday's Carabao Cup games, today's Carabao Cup games as well, also games from other countries like obviously Copa del Rey, Serie A. And we're also going to talk about some transfers that occurred on deadline day on Monday, which a lot of things didn't happen, but some things did happen. It was a kind of a boring deadline day, I have to say. But yeah, let's talk about the transfers first. There was not a lot of news if you talk about the European football side, where except Crystal Palace signed Jorgen Strand Larsen from Wolves, 48 million. 48 million for Strand Larsen. He's a good player, but 48 million. It's where we are right now with the market today. However, one of the biggest news that came out is that Cristiano Ronaldo was out of the Al Nassr squad for the game they had on Monday, while Al Nassr won 1-0. The decision was made the day before, no injury, no fitness management from Cristiano's side, and that was understood that Cristiano was unhappy with the situation in Saudi, including PIF, management of signings, budgets, and more. So where he was really actually not happy was when Karim Benzema signed for Al Hilal, with a deal valid until June 2027. Just for context, guys. So just for context, obviously Al Hilal and Al Nassr are fighting for the Saudi Pro League title, and Al Nassr are 1 point behind Al Hilal. However, Cristiano Ronaldo was not happy with the signing of Karim Benzema going from Al Ittihad to Al Hilal, because Al Ittihad and Al Hilal are rivals basically in Saudi Pro League. It's a bit like the transfer of Luis Figo going from Barcelona to Real Madrid. This is similar. Karim Benzema going from Barcelona to Al Ittihad to Al Hilal in Saudi. But Cristiano Ronaldo was not happy with that signing, and he tried to stop that signing. Why? Because he thinks that the management of BIF, the management of signings, is biased towards the other clubs and is against Al Nassr. Just for context, BIF own 4 clubs, which is strange, by the way. How can a single organization or a single person own 4 clubs or 3 clubs? I don't like this multi-club ownership. And to be fair with you, I don't think it's right that Chelsea own with Strasbourg, the Blue Coup. I don't think that's fair. I'm not a fan of this, multi-club ownership, because it's not fair in my opinion. So for BIF, only 4 clubs, which is crazy, and one of them is Al Nassr and Al Hilal. And Cristiano Ronaldo was kind of like, let's say, he was absent for the game of Al Nassr to make a statement and because he was not happy of the management of BIF and management of signings from other clubs, So he basically thinks that Al Hilal are favored by BIF in terms of the decisions in terms of signings, and BIF are against Al Nassr. That's what he's saying. So he didn't say it publicly, but from what I hear from people, that's the reason, most likely. So it's nothing to do with fitness management or no injury that he was absent for the game. He was also absent for the next day in training for Al Nassr. So listen, if Cristiano Ronaldo, let's say, is not happy because of the way listen, I don't watch the Saudi League a lot, to be honest with you. I don't watch the Saudi League a lot, so I'm speaking from the outside a little bit. But for him to say, but for BIF, I don't know why. First of all, why BIF is only 4 clubs? Why is that? That's not fair. That's the first of all. Second of all, if Cristiano Ronaldo is not happy with how the organization of Saudi Arabia manage different clubs in terms of transfers, the way to make a statement is not by being absent for the game and being absent for training. Yes, I know he wanted to prove a point, but do it in a more simple, in a better way, not like being absent for the game. And he has to come back, because I hear that Al Nassr have an important game coming up against Al Ittihad on Friday, and Al Nassr are fighting for the title, by the way. And I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo has won many titles in Saudi Arabia, except one, I think. So yeah, I don't know why, and he's not happy that Benzema is going from Al Ittihad to Al Hilal. I mean, I'm sorry, but for you, Cristiano, to also not be happy, because it's going to damage the fairness of the competition, as it says. It's going to damage the fairness of the competition, and because Al Hilal will strengthen their squad and weaken one of their rivals, and they're going to sign a fantastic player who's going to help them win the title. I mean, how stupid is that? I'm sorry, but like I remember like Luis Figo going from Barcelona to Real Madrid. Did Barcelona complain and say, "Oh, this is not fair. This is damaging the fairness of the competition"? Did when Bayern Munich signed Götze, Hummels, and Lewandowski, did Dortmund say, "Oh, it's not fair. It's damaging the fairness of the competition"? No, they competed. They lost, but they competed. So I don't understand. So Cristiano is kind of, let's say, throwing toys out of the pram. Yes, I know you want to win the title, but yeah, even if Al Hilal, that's their job. They want to improve. They want to have a better chance of winning the title. And Al Hilal, in their mind, they're like, okay, what can we do to make our squad better in terms of winning the league, make our chances better? You know what? We can one of our rivals and sign a fantastic player, a proven fantastic striker like Karim Benzema. What's wrong with that? Like, can you imagine Kylian Mbappe? Well, let's say in La Liga, can you imagine, let's say, Julian Alvarez going from Atletico Madrid to Barcelona, and Kylian Mbappe say, "Oh, no, this is not fair. It damages the fairness of the competition." Do you know how stupid that would be? So, if Cristiano is not happy because of the PAF management of signings, I get it. But the way to make a statement is not being absent for training for your team. That's not a way to prove a point here. And to say, "Oh, it's going to damage the fairness of the competition." So Al Nassr, they didn't bring players, good players. They didn't bring Sadio Mane. They didn't bring in Laporte. They didn't bring in who was they brought on? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure they brought in other good players. Kingsley Coman, I think. Al Hilal brought in good players. Al Ittihad bring good players. Al Ahly bring good players. So the Saudi league, a lot of people go to that league, and managers as well, like Inzaghi, etc. The Saudi league, a lot of managers, good managers, who play in top European countries, and managers in top European countries, they go to Saudi league, mostly because of money, of course. So, but still, it's from what I hear and from what I can see, it's an improving league, But again, like, why? Like, that's not a way to make a statement. To say, "Oh, I'm going to be absent for the game, and I'm going to be absent for training because of the Saudi Arabia organization of signings." That's so stupid. That's so stupid. I'm sorry, but I respect and admire Cristiano Ronaldo a lot. Honestly, he's one of the greatest players of all time. But if you want to win a title with Al Nassr, the way to do it is not by throwing toys out of the pram. So, yeah, and from what you can see, by the way, Cristiano Ronaldo, when he made that transfer to Al Nassr, I think 2022 in Saudi Arabia, he was the face of that project. He's the face of Saudi Arabia, Saudi Pro League, basically. He's the face of that Saudi project, as they say. So you can clearly see the Saudi league and Al Nassr are built around him. But like to say, "Oh, there's a conspiracy." Listen, by the way, from what I hear also, Al Hilal, they brought in signings from the owner, from a private investor. So, and that private investor they have, Al Hilal, is a huge businessman. He's very rich. So why they can't bring players not only from PAF management, which is not fair, by the way, but also from private investor? Why they can't do that? Don't you also have a private investor at Al Nassr, Cristiano? So, yeah, but Karim Benzema signing for Al Hilal. By the way, he was going to earn absolutely nothing at Al Ittihad, and obviously he had from what I hear, a bit of a conflict with Al Ittihad. So he signed from Al Ittihad to Al Hilal, another big rival. So, but for sure Al Hilal are going to become stronger. For sure I think they should have a very strong chance of winning the Saudi Pro League. Not only the quality of the players they have, they're going to bring in Benzema. They have a very good coach as well, like Inzaghi as well. So, yeah, I think, considering they're leading the Saudi Pro League, and it's not far away compared to them to Al Nassr, but the squad that they have and the coach they have compared to Al Nassr, I think, as a team, I think Al Hilal should they're the favourites to win the Saudi Pro League, in my opinion. Also, another piece of news that happened in the transfer window is that Mateta, who wanted to leave Crystal Palace, he failed his medical at AC Milan and he will undergo surgery, sidling him for the next 3 or 4 months. Oh, wow. I mean, he really wanted to leave to Crystal Palace and he really wanted to go to AC Milan. By the way, Crystal Palace have had a couple of difficult weeks. I mean, Glasner leaving, Mark Gay leaving, Eze leaving some transfer window, and now Mateta wants to leave. I mean, it's been a difficult run of weeks for them. But he failed his medical and he's going to be injured for the next 3 or 4 months, which is, we've seen players fail medical in the past, so yes, crazy story that one, considering he wanted to leave and he failed his medical, so yeah. And probably, I'm pretty sure AC Milan were like, okay, no, you're fine, no, we anyway, let's move on to the games in the Carabao Cup. Yesterday, Arsenal against Chelsea. Arsenal beat Chelsea 1-0 thanks to the winning goal from Kai Havertz. Arsenal win 4-2 on aggregate. They go through to the final of the Carabao Cup, and they'll face most likely Manchester City. And yeah, congratulations to Arsenal for qualifying for the first Carabao Cup final since 2018, where in that final they faced Manchester City, which will be again most likely this final again from Arsenal's side against Manchester City. And finally enough, I mean the guy who was assistant coach to Pep Guardiola for Manchester City in that final to 2018 when City won 3-0 against Arsenal was Mikel Arteta. So another final between Arsenal and City, but this time Arteta's going to be in the other dugout. But yeah, it's crazy how things work out sometimes. But yeah, like Arsenal, listen, it wasn't a great game. It wasn't a great game from both sides. But Arsenal, they went with quite a defensive approach, but rightly so, because they don't need to score another goal. They were winning the tie. They were like, okay, Chelsea, come on, can you come and try to score? Can you come try to do that? And I think Arteta and his players played it strategically really well in terms of how they manage this game, considering they are winning and they don't need to put all of the adrenaline and conserve energy a little bit. So yeah, I think defensively Arsenal were fantastic. They were well solid, well organized. Not much going forward, but also from Chelsea's side as well. And yeah, Arsenal. I think Arsenal, the players managed it really, really well. I mean, but I was also disappointed. I have to say, I'm disappointed from Chelsea's side because does Liam Lucini know that his team lost 3-2 in the first leg? Because they played like a team. The way Chelsea approached this game, the way Liam Lucini and Chelsea approached this game, they approached this game if it was like a chance to go in the first leg. I mean, it was like Chelsea must have thought they were going to the new camp, playing against prime Barcelona in the first leg, trying to get a 0-0 draw, and they scraped the 0-0 draw. That's what Chelsea and Liam Lucini were thinking. Like they must have thought like that. They must have thought they were going to play prime Barcelona or something, because this Arsenal side, they're very good. They're a very good team. They're a fantastic team. But let's be honest, they are there for the taking as well. They are there for the taking. Man United showed that. And from what I saw from this Chelsea side and Liam Lucini, they didn't make a proper approach to win this game. Like Arsenal were defending. It was like a chance for you to open up and attack, and you have to win. By the way, you're losing. You lost the first leg 3-2. You have to go and win and score goals. And Liam Lucini and his players were cautious. They were cautious because I was listening to that to what pundits were saying at half time, and they were saying of the game plan of Lucini was really working really well. I'm like, what are you talking? What are you talking? They're losing the tie. They're losing the tie, and Chelsea had 2 shots on target at 0.6 xg. I know expected goals are for the stats, etc., but 0.6 xg. When you spent $1 billion and you try to win and come back, and you don't attack at all against a side who, by the way, it's not like Arsenal were. It's not like this Arsenal side. It's not like Liverpool, Manchester City, where they're gonna attack, and they're gonna harass you, pressure you, and dominate possession and chances, and they're gonna attack, and then you have to defend and play counter attack. No, They gave it to you. They were like, okay, can you score? Can you score? Defensively, you're strong. Can you score? Can you come? Can you break us down? We're winning the tie. Can you do that, Chelsea? Show us. And Chelsea were like, what is this?